The push by the alt-right is being identified as an extinction burst event. It's an interesting theory, and in the end will be good for the world over, as this is the death throes of racism, misogyny, and hatred. I wish that were true. I wish that were true. I know this is something that's being pushed by an account that I like. Oh, That's Rich. He has a lot of kind of hopecore videos, and I understand the inspirational nature of the stuff he talks about and why it's so important to so many people. But I think that this is naive, and I think that we would be doing all of humanity a disservice to believe that the rise of fascism is something that is the last gasp of, hatred, awful, misogynistic, racist men, and that it's about to run its course and we're about to enter into a new era of, goodness and light. That theory absolves us of having any responsibility to fight fascism if we believe it is an extinction burst event, that this sudden uptick in fascism is the natural consequence of living in an oppressive oligarchical world with late stage capitalism. I mean, I think it is. I think the escalation is the natural consequence of having capitalism and having billionaires and the rich be in power. I do think that's true. But believing that this is the last gasp because it has now, jumped the shark, it's reached the tipping point, I think that is naive. It also allows people to say, I don't have to do anything. It's gonna stop on its own. It's giving the same energy as before the inauguration, like, just wait, Kamala has a secret plan to save us, right? It's giving Delu Blue. I don't think it's a good idea for folks to take too much comfort in this theory. I don't believe that racism and misogyny and hatred are ever going to be in their death throes. I think they are going to be something that we will always have to combat. We will always have to be diligent in fighting back against them, because there will always be maladaptive, narcissistic men, fragile men, greedy, cruel people who are hungry for power, and therefore they will always use the isms. They will always exploit them. They will always exploit vulnerable, foolish, easily hoodwinked people into falling in line with their terrible ideologies. I mean, I would argue that part of the reason that we're seeing the rise of fascism around the world, especially in Europe and the US, is because Russia has intentionally sown those seeds. Russia has fostered that. It's not just spontaneously happening. It is a plan that is being instituted, and we therefore need a plan to counter it. At the town hall I went to for my senator and neighboring congresswoman the other day, one of the things that got talked about, a congresswoman said, oh, well, they had this plan, Project 2025, and, we need a counter plan. And I was like, why do we not already have one? There's a new Project 2023, 24, every year there's one. And so it's not like Project 2025 was brand new information. Democrats knew about it and did not create any kind of plan to subvert Project 2025, any kind of plan to counter it. There is no playbook for them, right? So she's like, we need to make a plan. Why do you not already have one? It's now March of 2025, and you're still saying, gosh, we better get a plan together to fight this. That's the people in power. That's leadership who are saying, they're not in power because they're Democrats, but the people in leadership in the government who are saying that. Gosh, we should maybe think about a plan to combat this. Yes, like yesterday, get your shit together. This belief of we don't need a plan because it's an extinction burst and it's running itself out. I get why people find comfort in that, and I'm not saying there's not some truth to the fact that it is now reaching a tipping point, but that doesn't mean that it will just burn itself out and we don't have to do anything. We have to do all of the things. We have to do all the things. Because first of all, how long is this extinction burst going to last? How long has Vladimir Putin been in power? What if this extinction burst lasts 20, 30, 40 years? Millions of people are going to die. That's not me pulling that out of my ass. The New York Times said that. Save the Children has said that millions of little children around the world will be dying directly as a result of what Elon Musk is doing with USAID and Doge. So we don't really have the luxury of believing this and then doing nothing. I'm not saying you're advocating for doing nothing, but I have seen a lot of people take far too much comfort in this idea. Like, whew, okay, this is fine. Okay, true, a white knight is no longer coming to save us. I thought that for a long time, but now I just we don't need a savior because it's just got to run its course and it's on the way. An extinction is about to happen. That, I think, is a foolish thing to cling to. We have to work for our freedom. We have to fight for our liberty. Protection of democracy, the protection of our freedoms takes diligent, persistent, unending work. Freedom is not something that happens without work, without effort, without people caring enough to defend and protect and secure it.